This week we're exploring the infamous tracks of Coffs Harbour. It's a destination that comes with a reputation for tough, challenging 4x4 trails tempered by stunning native rainforests and an overbearing threat of disaster. The area is famous for steep, slippery tracks, unrelenting rocky climbs, technical tight sections, water crossings, and bananas. We'll experience it all, but one thing is for sure. At any given moment, it just takes one small slip and it's possibly game over. This is the episode you've all been waiting for, and the event that we never ever wanted to happen. Join us as our Coffs Harbour adventure starts in the worst possible way.
Hey guys, it's Brian from Savage Off-Road and we're here in Coffs Harbour. We're with Chris Roberts. He knows all the best trails in here, so let's see what sticky situations he can get us into.
When Simon said he was coming back to Queensland, I said, whoa. Perfect timing for me. I had just finished the Jeep build. So this is no ordinary Jeep. It's a 6.1 stroke to a 7-litre Hemi, and it produces way too much horsepower. So I am going to try to tame it down for some of the tracks. It's a little bit jittery, but I think once I get used to it and have good throttle control, this is going to be an absolute weapon out on the tracks.
Today, I brought this little weapon, my favourite. It's my own little Suzuki, old Sierra, 1988. You can't beat the classics, so we're going to take that out on track and see what we've got.
My name's Shannon Weiss. I'm a BDE for Yokohama Tyres Australia. So Kristen's thrown me the keys for the Navara this time. It's got the Yokohama G003 mud tyres on it. We've put on some more accessories to make it a bit more capable this time. Looking so forward to get out on the tracks and have a good bit of fun.
We bought the Unimog this time. I wanted to bring the Navara, but for a while I've been hearing about Coffs Harbour at this time of the year. I had to bring the raw tool. This one right there, Mike.
So trips like these, when we come out here, it's just a good time for us to put our kickback mode on, come out here, give Simon a hand with all the crew and the film crew and that, feeding those guys. And it's an added bonus that we get to poke along for the ride and watch Festa bury himself in 10 deep mud.
It was good to meet everybody right there. Then we just, let's go.
Chris Roberts, where have you brought us to this week?
Well, Simon, I often say this is my happy place, and well, this is absolutely 100% four-wheel drive heaven. We are in the infamous Coffs Harbour. I've picked a few different tracks out, some that we can challenge some cars and some where we can just have a little bit of fun. So right now we're heading off to one that's called Steering Box. Great little track, I think it's a good start-up.
We've got a pretty wide variety of vehicles on this trip, so it'll be good to see what we can get through the different sorts of tracks we tackle today.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely going to be a good spread of cars, and each one of them are going to be challenged, that's for sure.
Well, good mate, Festa, great to have you back on another trip.
Very happy to be here. I've got a special guest this weekend with me.
You brought one of your gorgeous daughters?
Yeah, probably my favourite one of the three.
You can't say that on national TV.
Whichever one's with me at the time will be my favourite. They know it.
Welcome, Tom. Great to have you. See, you've got a co-driver with you.
Yes, I do. It's my youngest daughter, Summer.
Hey, Summer, great to meet you. Welcome along.
Thank you, Simon. Great to be here. Nice to meet you too.
Byron, they talk about bringing a knife to a gunfight. You bought the EV again?
Yeah, I enjoyed it last time, so I thought, why not?
And as always, you guys give it the Savage Tech magic touch. What have you done to that one?
Currently, we've just put our new suspension on here. Another thing we've added is one of our new platforms.
Awesome. Can't wait to see how the Shark goes over the weekend.
Let's go.
Shannon, welcome to Life Off-Road. Welcome to your first four-wheel drive TV experience.
Yeah, thanks Simon, thanks for having me. Looking very forward to it. If the rest of the few days is going to look like it does at the moment, that's for sure.
James, great to have you back on another trip, but you've brought something different this time. That's a pretty hardcore rig set up for some good wheeling.
It is. It took a couple of years to build it up from a completely stock old Sierra to a little bit of a weapon, so let's unleash it.
All right, so we've just turned off the fire trail and we're starting to head into the trails now. So exciting stuff.
While starting off on steering box, this track has always been a great way to start a Coffs Harbour trip. I was heading first, but some of those rocks had been exposed a little bit more after that cyclone. They made the drop a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging. In forward driving, it only takes one little moment and it can all go wrong.
This is going to be super tricky for us to get past this tree.
You okay?
I'm okay, you okay, baby?
Yes, yes, yes.
Guys, we need some help up here. Who's got a winch behind us, please? A winch? James, can we get you down here, please, James?
We all jumped out of our vehicles, ran down the hill to see what has happened. When we got to the bottom of the hill, we were like, holy moly.
Did you guys see what happened?
Yeah. He went over it and the front went all right.
Yeah.
And then the rear lifted and he just went straight over.
Whoa! It's going over.
The main priority was to make sure everyone was safe and sound. We all sort of radioed and Simon was like,
everyone's all right. Let's just get this thing over before we have issues with oil, please. Let's get us over the right way up, please.
We started to assess the situation just to see how we're going to make the recovery.
There's 5 or 6 tonne that we've got to be able to pull over and back onto its wheels.
We've got to go snatch block off to the tree off the side here. Yeah, we've got to go sideways that way.
Simon, do you have a snatch block in your Iveco?
You can't get to it.
Lucky for Simon, I was right behind him. While the wind slowed to the Iveco, we had to work out to cover the mountain point because it was a bit tricky with the charges.
Come on, guys. My biggest fear was always tipping this over. Jeez.
It was really good to see everyone joining, try and overcome this little hiccup. Everyone donating bits and pieces that we needed to make it happen. It was an unconventional recovery, but everyone working together, a lot of good experience that we could draw on.
Simon, man, I really think that we need to put this rope on the back, like near the back, to pull the arse over, because the way you're sitting in the middle, it's going to make it ugly at the front, I think.
You're on the outside. If you think it'd be better, I just don't want to drag the car sideways and spin it, but you put it where you think. That's fine.
So we're putting it on the arse instead of the middle?
Yeah, when we had it on the middle, it was dragging the whole car up. We're going to have to pull the arse around to get a couple of scratches, but it should sort the problem out.
We've resituated the rope onto the rear of the vehicle.
Is there anywhere we can hook up the roof winch to give us a bit of purchase?
We had the second winch hooked up at the back of the vehicle as well to try and bring the vehicle over without going further down the hill.
Pulling every kit out of the carbon bag. We had the carbon 4,500 pound winch on the frame. We had the 20,000 pound winch on the Unimog. We also had a snatch block, and we had obviously dampeners to make sure if anything did go wrong, that everything was going to drop safely to the ground. It was really good to see so much experience and such good gear coming into play.
All right, Hooray!
It's looking like it's going to come over. Put on brakes hard, mate.
The ground's really slippery, the track's still really muddy, that nice clay soil that we've got out here in Coffs.
Not going to feel comfortable for a bit, mate.
I thought, nah, there's no way in the world we're getting this thing back on the wheels. We're going to have to get more help.
The vehicle's actually come up and met with the embankment. As we're trying to winch it over, it's actually rolling over with the embankment.
The mighty carbon 4,500 pound winch, that gave us just enough leverage to start tipping the Iveco back up onto its wheels instead of just dragging it through the mud.
Nice.
Once we finally got it back on its wheels, then it was the process to get it down the hill.
We got the Iveco back on its feet, but the engine wouldn't start. Bit of a surprise to see something like that on your first trip, that's for sure, but hopefully that's what the bad stuff out of the way and it's just good fun from there on in.
It's just enjoying the peace and serenity of Coffs Harbour. Got a beautiful location, stunning views, vehicles on their side.
and a lot of winching.
At Coffs, you can drive your car in any direction. Wheels down, wheels in the air.
Hey Simon, you can't park there.
Root winch saves the day again.
Never underestimate a 4,500 pounder.
Biggest question on everyone's lips is what's for lunch?
If he gets that one set, tell me to hold the back for a week so that it from time to start to done.
If they want to unhook the Mog, run my rear winch straight out from under the tree.
Back to the Unimog.
Back to the tree, back to the Unimog, back to whatever.
Do that if you like. At least that way you're in a straight line. So for reposition this carbon winch on the back of the Iveco, we're going to take a bit of strain off that and then gently lower Simon back down the hill. All four wheels this time. It's good stuff.
All right, Simon, your rear winch is connected, ready to go.
I need to move back. I'm trying to
Chris, he wants to reset the Mog in position.
Tom just needs to reset to ensure he can get the Iveco down to flat ground.
So we're going to have the Iveco go down, and Tom just chases it, but keeps only a little bit of tension.
So Tom's going to come down. If you want to start letting your winch out, Simon.
All right, home, out.
All the way?
Hold it.
I couldn't believe the control that you all had with those winches and letting the car go just a few metres at a time.
I just had to release him and then bring myself down to him and keep releasing him, and we just kept doing that until we got to flat ground.
Guide me onto the rock, please.
Yeah.
Once we got to flat ground, then we assess everything.
So you should come to Coffs. Good contact. First track, first stage. Yeah, the warm-up track. The next track's hard.
So we've all calmed down a little bit. We've got the vehicle down to as flat a ground as we can. Checked out the panels, the damage. It's actually not looking too bad, but the engine's not starting. So we'll run the scan tool over it first. We'll check out, we'll inspect the engine bay, try and work out what's going on, and fingers crossed we can get the vehicle started and we're good to go.
Yes, please. Processing. Ignition being cleared. Cool. Exit.
The soil here is actually quite sandy. It's very, very loose. You've got these large rocks in there, so if something does decide to move, and it moves a rock with it, you can create quite a divot, quite a hole. And I think that's what's happened. Something has given away enough just to lurch us this way, and we've dropped in to that hole right there, and you can see where we've landed right up against that tree. It's one of those things. Let's get it running, let's keep the show going.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's your problem. There's your problem, folks. Leaves in the airbox.
That's the pollen filter for the air conditioner.
Luckily, Tom from Southern Cross Fabworks, he's a diesel mechanic.
My mission is to get you back to camp. We assess everything. Check the engine, check the oil. There's no oil in the coolant, which is good. Make sure it's all smooth. And then we gave it a couple of cracks. She started. Whew. Lucky.
Almost another rollover.
Now that the car is the right way around and the engine is running, it's time to keep moving. But up ahead, Chris had an interesting update.
Just steep and big rock steps. I wouldn't, any of the other cars like the Yokohama car and all that, I definitely wouldn't drive it down here. Right, so I'm on the bottom now.
Copy, Chris. I'm about to descend down that steep section.
It's definitely steep, Simon, and big rock steps. Any of the other cars definitely wouldn't drive it down here. I'm just walking to it. We could get most of them down, but you'll have to guide them through, Simon.
All right, Iveco rolling the right way, hopefully.
Having seen the Iveco take a tumble on what looked like nothing major, just an unfortunate set of circumstances, it can rattle people, especially if they're new to four-wheel driving.
I was pretty impressed. He took the rollover just in his stride. Myself, if that happened to me, I would probably not drive for the rest of the day, but he was very committed to the hill.
Feels nasty, doesn't it? This is normally such a good, stable vehicle. It's mind-blowing how stable it works, even in off-camber situations, but that just unloaded like, not good.
This one looks so worse.
That was way harder, and we just walked down that like...
Yeah.
Baby?
But you just cross so easily.
We're back on track. Oh.
The bonus side should the car. There was a steep rut.
After the flip, it was a bit of adrenaline going, and we were all probably making up that the tracks were a bit harder than what they were.
And I nearly put myself in the same position as Simon.
Get out!
How about it? But be quick, I can't turn.
He can't turn.
He's wedged against the bank.
So I was able to drive myself backwards.
He's straight now, he's good.
Guess who's behind the Unimog? It's the Shark, the rookie. I'm so used to engine braking, but in the Shark, wheeling in it, it's completely different to wheeling in a ICE vehicle. You've obviously got no gears, you've also got no rear diff locks, you can't keep the rear straight, you can't use the rear brakes only, whereas when traction control is activated, it can sort of keep the car straight and brake individual wheels. Unlike me, when I press the brake pedal, it's sort of brake biased towards the front and it loads the front, and which creates the rear to slide.
I was near the back. I had Yoko going in front of me. He hasn't done much four-wheel driving before. I was very impressed with the people that we were with. I'd already talked to him and explained what to do, and next minute someone else had come up and someone else all come to check to make sure it was okay. So that's the kind of support that you want.
It was that slippery, it just didn't feel as though the vehicle was going to stop. Felt like the vehicle just keep on going down the hill.
The NP300's got a rear locker, low range, so very easy to navigate down. It's also got a suspension lift on it, so grippy tyres, he's got the clearance, and it's also got a rear locker and low range. He got down there with no troubles at all. Next, we had the Colorado. He also did a fantastic job at navigating down. He's got his suspension on there, so like he's got good approach and departure angles with the tray being on the back and the bull bar, so no issues there.
Big fat tyres and a light car with reduction gearing makes for a smooth descent down the slippery slope.
Hey, I left my keys up the top. Can you grab them for me, please?
No, thank you.
We got down to the bottom. Everyone navigated quite easily down this trail, thank goodness. After the rollover, we don't need any more action.
We were coming down into a small creek. I call it a small creek. It might be a big creek for some, but small creek for me.
I'm fine. Every other vehicle's fine except for the Iveco, and the Unimog is huge. This is a normal track, and then there's this like a little bankment to try and get up with a little rock step up.
I'm not going that way.
Today's not the day because we've already had a rollover and we need to keep moving. I'm actually going to take the easy line for once. The Suzuki I was a bit jealous of, he came behind me and he's like, instead of doing the step up, he goes, I'll take it to the next level. He goes up the creek.
And he's the only car that could fit through the trees.
For those that don't know, Suzukis love a good creek bed. Drove up, it was nice and dry, plenty of grip on the rocks.
And then he made it out to the other side. There's a win for the little car. Go on in.
After that, cruising through, there's just a couple of hill climbs out there. It's lots of fun. All didn't go to plan because we turned the corner.
And there is a massive tree over the track. And I mean proper.
It's a tree that none of us could move. We wouldn't even think about it.
Our path is blocked, our vehicles are sinking, and we're stuck at the bottom of one of Coffs Harbour's deepest valleys. Tune in next week to see how we get ourselves back on track. If you want to see my opinion on the best four-wheel drive tracks in Australia, click here.